Finally, you can do area edits with up to 60 megapixels right inside of Photoshop. I've been testing it during the past 2 days to figure out exactly how it works, and in this video I'm gonna walk you through step by step from changing outfits to replacing backgrounds or completely reimagining a shot, all without ever leaving Photoshop. This new 4K AI plugin integrates all image models and resolution is insane compared to the one-legged pixel that you get with the Photoshop tools. So let's start with the first reference. I have this shot taken in Portugal and I want to change the outfit. First, I need to add a reference for the clothing, in this case of dress. There are two ways to do that. I can either upload a file directly from the computer or simply use a layer. By having the file inside my layer stack, I can make sure that the size and the resolution perfectly match my scene. Once everything aligns, I add the layer as reference and make sure to toggle the visibility off. I don't make any manual selection of the subject, so the image model can naturally understand the lighting and the color of the whole scene. I select Seedream 4.0, switch to 4K, and type in my prompt. Simply make the woman wear the dress. And now I hit generate. And here's the result. I've just created a mask to keep a few details from the base image. I will add the color correction and also adjust the exposure slightly. Let's go ahead reimagining this shot. First, I'm going to turn it into a clean studio image. I leave the dress inside my reference stack, and for the prompt, I'm going to type, make a woman stand straight in the middle of the frame, turn the image into a clean e-com studio photo with a white background. Make her head straight to the camera and make her hair a slick ponytail. This is what I got. If your first generation doesn't look great, just increase the number of generations here. Next, let's create an editorial style interior background, and this is where the 16 megapixel quality of Seedream are really going to shine. I've already prepared my prompt and I'm going to paste it here. It's gonna be a retro interior hotel room, a bit of 80s, 90s style, and let's hit generate. And this was my favorite out of 4 generations. Now, to place the woman into the interior scene, I'm going to use a little trick. I will draw a red outline just to make sure that seating understands the size and the proportion of the woman inside the hotel room. I'm going to add the layer of the woman right here to my reference images. And for the prompt, I'm going to say insert the woman into the red outline, adjust the light and remove the outline. I hit generate, and this is the result that I got. Look at it, how the light passes through the fabric of the dress. It's absolutely stunning. Let me zoom into the face so you can really see the level of detail and resolution. Seedream supports up to 4K image editing and generation, while Nano Banana and Flux are limited to 1K resolution. If you need uncensored editing, switch to Qwen Image Edit. So let's get this plugin installed. Click the link in the description. I will also show it in the video right here, and it will take you to this page. Add the plugin to your cart and proceed to checkout. Enter an email, make sure it's correct, as you will receive the download link to this email. Once the purchase is complete, check your mail and you will find your personal download link there. Just hit download. Next, make sure Photoshop is closed, then that will click the plugin file. This will automatically open the Creative Cloud. Click install and unfound installation. Once it's done, relaunch Photoshop And you will find the plugin right here in the plugins toolbar. To start generating images, you will need an API key. Head over to replicate.com and create an account. Once you're logged in, go to your dashboard and add some credits right here. Compared to Photoshop, it's much cheaper to use Replicate to generate images, as they will give you the original price. After your account is set up, click on your username, go to API token. If your token name, for example, Photoshop, and click Create Token. Copy the token and paste it into the Replicate API section inside the plugin. You can also test it using the Test API Key button right here. Once it's confirmed, close the window and you're all set. Now let's say you have a great picture, but the model isn't looking directly into the camera. I'm going to select the eyes and part of the face, type in, make her look straight into the camera. Hit generate, and here's what we get. As you can see, the generated image doesn't quite match the color and lighting of the scene. So I will add a mask to make sure we're only taking what we actually need from the generated result. And next, I will correct the light and the color. Let me show you my graph so you can see exactly what I did. I pulled down the highlights slightly and added a touch of blue in the midtones here. Alternatively, I could make it require sunglasses. I would like to use specific ones that I already have here in my layer stack. For this, I tested all image models and I got the best results with Qwen Image Edit. So I would type in my prompt, make her wear the sunglasses. Then I add the sunglass layer to my reference images, turn layer off, make my selection here, hit generate, and here's the result. I just added the mask and a slight color correction, so everything blends together naturally. Now let's say you want to completely transform this shot to an interior scene with a different light. For the prompt, I would type change the background to a cinematic bar scene and adjust the light of the whole image. Here's the result for Seedream. To understand the limitation of the resolution in Nano Banana, let me show you a comparison. Here's the Nano Banana version. It's just an upscaled 1K image. And this is the Seedream true 4K resolution. You can see the skin texture and pores, while Nano Banana seems to destroy everything and even creates artifacts. If you only need to fix smaller areas, about up to 1 megapixel, you can work with Nano Banana. It sometimes even produces better results. For larger areas, stick with Seedream to preserve the pixel quality. In the next example, I will even show you how to enhance results created with Nano Banana by regenerating them with Seedream. I wanted the woman to wear a leather coat. Nano Banana just produced the better result. It seemed to have a better understanding of the code somehow. So I used Nano Banana for the first generation, and after that I took the exact same prompt, did the same reference image for the code, and regenerated the image with Seedream. But I zoomed in to have a look at the outcome. After the regeneration, we have much higher detail and resolution. The next use case solves a common problem when shooting people with glasses. To make sure the direction and color of both eyes stay consistent, I recommend selecting both eyes at the same time, even if this means sacrificing a bit of resolution. For the prompt, I would type, remove the reflections in the glasses, and here's the result. Let's zoom in. To compare the different image models directly, here's one generation with Flux Pro, another with Flux Max, and one created with Nano Banana. Nano Banana actually did a decent job removing the reflections, but it tends to make the skin look more artificial and kind of airbrushed. Those fine details like tiny wrinkles, pores, and macro imperfections, they're often gone. So Seedream, on the other hand, did the best job also at maintaining the correct color of the iris. As you can see here with Flux Max and Pro, the iris seems to change its color. In this example, I want to use this stunning background from an outdoor shooting for a photo of a woman that I took indoors. As you can see, the lighting matches fairly well, but focal length and perspective doesn't align perfectly. I will add the woman as a reference image and type the prompt, replace the man with the woman. Pretty straightforward. And here's the result. To preserve as much detail as possible from the original image, I created a soft mask throughout the subject. If you want to generate additional shots with the same setup, here's a simple trick. Just type zoom out of the frame, and this is the new image that I got. Notice her head maintains the same posture, which could be quite boring for a new shot. We can easily adjust it by telling Seedream to make her head look at the camera, keep the posing and background. And here's the result, a completely new shot, which blends in perfectly into an editorial scene. For the last example, I'm going to change all the outfit items and then transform the studio shot into a complete surreal fashion campaign. I would start with the bag. First, I add it to the reference images, then make a small, precise selection to get the highest possible resolution. For the prompt, I type change the bag, and here's what I got. Just look at the gold logos. It's pretty impressive how Seedream handles such fun details. All right, next up the blouse. Add it to the layer option and type make her wear blouse. And here's the result. Right, looks great. And finally, I would change the shoes. In this case, I'm using a pair of Ocean high heels. So I type make her wear the high heels. All right, now our studio shot is complete. And it's time to create a surreal background for our fashion campaign. I already have my prompt prepared. It's describing a vintage car being washed at the car wash. And on the right of the scene, there's the chestnut horse standing in a wash bay. Pretty surreal. And here's the result. It looks absolutely stunning. I mean, just imagine how much effort it would take to set up a scene like this for a real fashion shoot. Now, to integrate the model into the scene, I will use some annotations. I created an outline around the woman, and to help Seedream understand the placement, I wrote the instruction, place the woman here. Next, I merge all the layers below my background image. And I had the studio shop result to my reference stack. Then I type my prompt telling the image model to place the woman into the red outline, and it's just the like of the woman. I select the entire area, and as you can see, the lighting of the whole scene adjusted automatically. This is making the composition far more convincing. I mean, it truly looks like she's standing in this environment. Let's zoom in and take a look at the details. Look at the reflections and the shadows cast by the here. It seems to be physically absolutely correct. Really, really beautifully rendered. To balance the composition, I decided to change the car. I found this image of a brown Mustang, and that just fits perfectly into the scene because it kind of provides a counterweight to the dark horse that we have on the other side. So I added to my reference stack using the layer option here. Type the prompt, replace the car with the brown Mustang, and this is the result. I made a few light adjustments since Seedream didn't quite nail the exposure at first. And of course, I mathed the edges just to fade the corners smoothly into the whole image. So that's it for today. Of course, there's so many more possibilities, and this is why I'm already working on the next video. If you like this one, make sure to give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.